Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
We'll pop through to Otaki now to our Greater Wellington Regional Rep, Penny Gaylor. Good morning, Penny.
Yes, well, I'm, just got all my various togs lined up, deciding which one to wear for, the inflatables. It's all very exciting.
It is indeed. Hey, listen, we've got a heavy shower passing through here at Lindale. Unbelievable.
Wow.
In from the south.
Counting the drops?
Well, no, it's much heavier than that, I can tell you.
Yay.
Yeah. So that was unexpected. Nothing in the forecast about that today, but that's beside the point. How are the rivers looking, Penny, from the Greater Wellington Regional perspective?
Well, at this time of the year, as you'd expect, probably, I'd actually say probably what you'd expect more January, of course. But, this is the interesting thing about the December we're having following on from the November we had. So we're still over in the hut who've got the algae problem. So, really interesting times.
Yes.
And good for all of us to get interested and get informed about weather and just all these environmental things to make sure that we know what's happening and understand what's happening. So certainly a lot of things that are very important to a regional council.
Now, we've got this myrtle rust, I think you might have mentioned it last week, into the Hutt Valley, so we've got to be aware of that too. So what do people need to look out for in their gardens? Yeah,
so myrtle rust, probably a good one. If you have internet access, Google it so you can get a really nice crisp picture on your screen to sort of see what it looks like and, get a bit of information in your mind. So, when you're around your own garden, when you're around doing some walks this summer, or even if you're visiting somebody else's garden, maybe you might even help them to kind of check, because, when you're not sure about something, the first thing you do is you ask the next visitor. So it might be quite good to, have a little chat with people whose gardens you're visiting and say, well, have you got anything that I can look at? It's something that we had not expected. We were told by the scientists that myrtle rust would not be able to survive down in the Wellington region. So, that sense of safety, because they said it would be too cold down here. So whether it's a case of because of the temperatures we've had, it's meant that it has been able to kind of arrive and survive, or whether in fact it's actually been here for a while, I don't know. But it is in the Wellington area, in the hut there, and so we all need to be vigilant.
Yes, we do indeed. The other one we've got is that velvet plant, haven't we? Velvet leaf plant. I think Rusty, the 7-year-old bordered collie's been looking out for this. Have we got a problem with that as well?
Well, that's why it's really good if people want to go to the likes of the Regional Council website, go to other people's, DOC websites, keep on looking at your local KCDC website. Like I say, we're all out and about over in summer time and kind of being the eyes for the councils, because we don't have staff that we can be in everybody's garden and every nook and cranny of our parks and reserves. Really good if we can all be the foot soldiers out there helping us keep an eye on our environment so we can manage these things and raise the alarm when it's necessary. So when we've had, a couple of weeks ago when we had the dead fish out at the Otaki River estuary there, it was because some locals had seen it and had rung the 0800 number for Regional Council straight away, and we were able to get onto that straight away, so bravo to them. But that was because, citizens were out there keeping an eye on things and raising the alarm when they thought, gosh, something here is dodgy and different, and I'll let somebody know. So really appreciate that. So if everybody could take the message that we absolutely need your help doing that stuff, and as I say, over summertime when you're out and about, a lot of different things to look for.
Now, any reports on the new bus services that we've got operating, new timetables, new operators and that sort of thing? Anything there?
Yeah, well, because we've had some changes here in Kapiti as they have had around the other parts of the region, and more and more changes are going to be coming on board. So, over the next year, there will be a lot of changes for people. Hopefully we help you through that process with good information and have that information coming through to you in the right channels. When we had the new timetable and some of the change of stops and stuff in Kapiti, I actually was notified by some residents. Had kind of 3 or 4 people kind of raised some issues for them, which I really appreciate. So I passed that on to our staff, and I've also asked when we had our sustainable transport meeting last week, the ones I've had, are there much more concerns, or how much have we been hearing at Regional Council? And they said that actually they didn't see that they'd had many more people with concerns and problems, and then they went away and checked, and sure enough, we haven't actually had a lot of people saying that, they're kind of concerned about the new timetable and stuff like that. Hopefully people are getting the hang of it. I know that the Kapiti Older Persons Council discussed one particular issue a week ago, and so our regional council staff are just I've organised for them to kind of give a bit of response and look back at the kind of the decision making and stuff. So, very keen for people to kind of give their feedback, and hopefully, we can kind of get back to them with why changes have made, or just see if we need to tweak anything.
Right. And is the new government sympathetic with keeping the capital connection running?
Well, I have channels, just like lots of people do, and I'm certainly encouraging them to, support the capital connection. I believe there is absolutely the right kind of flavour of government that is across the 3 parties that have formed the coalition. Certainly all of them have said in campaign mode and post-election mode that they support regional public transport, and that regional rail networks are really important, and they see them as an important part of kind of the bigger transport network. So, while holding on to the capital connection is what I'd call the short term, we want to, the kind of the medium-term solution, and of course always that long-term solution of electrification through to Otaki and maybe even to Levin is just something you always got to keep. It's not just, you don't talk about one of those things, you talk about all those things, so people don't lose sight of actually what we're wanting to build towards.
Well, this government's sympathetic towards rail, so we may get an extension of our rail system, electric rail system, through to Otaki, do you think?
I would hope so, but I would see that, that is a longer term solution, and holding on to the capital connection, maintaining a service so that it's there for the current users, but also those people who are looking at Otaki and around that area to kind of move to start their business in, to grow their business in. You've got to have good transport infrastructure, and the capital connection, or a wider solution in terms of more services, in terms of more frequent services for people to come and go on, not just out of Otaki but into Otaki. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right, Penny. Well, we'll see you at the official invitation opening of the pool this afternoon, and you'll be doing a couple of links just to sort of christen it, I suppose.
I'll probably do a bit of bombs. I'll do some links. I'll do some synchronised swimming. Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to that splash pad. I'll be chasing my kids. Yep.
Good on you. We'll talk to you next week for the last time for this year.
Yes. Lovely.
Thanks.
Okay, have a lovely weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Penny. Penny Gaylor, Greater Wellington Regional Rep, here on Beach FM.
106.3 Beach FM.